Hi there. Today I'm going to be talking about global warming. Global warming is a real threat to the humanity and our planet. And I think that anybody who argues otherwise is ill-informed. Um, there's just been this lingering debate of the existence of or the future impact of global climate change that is an argument that has been waged between scientists and politicians. I think we need to put, the party affiliation aside. There's no Democrats, Republicans, or independents. This is a topic that should be left to the experts. Um, Scientists, people with PhDs, people who spend a lot of their life studying this. And a lot of these anti-climate change politicians or these climate deniers, they are very far from being experts. So let's talk about what global warming is. Global warming and climate change are attributed to an increase in greenhouse gas in our atmosphere. And a greenhouse gas is any gaseous compound in the atmosphere that is capable of absorbing infrared radiation. And thereby it traps, heat into our atmosphere because it has no way to escape. The process occurs when the sun shines radiation through the Earth's atmosphere of the total amount reflected off the planet. 70% gets absorbed and causes the atmosphere, 70% gets absorbed in our atmosphere, which causes the land and bodies of water to heat up. This is called the greenhouse effect. The infrared radiation is bouncing up and down between our atmosphere and has no way to escape. Because some radiation does get passed towards the sun, but most of it, unfortunately, gets trapped in the Earth's atmosphere. Well, they have shown that this process does occur naturally. There is overwhelming evidence that, we as humans, in our treatment of the planet is causing an increase in greenhouse gases. And, acts like deforestation and more acts of pollution, like, driving cars, general heating, cause more carbon dioxide to be pushed into the atmosphere. And it goes out in amounts that are higher than can normally be absorbed by plants in the oceans, which is usually what is done naturally, but we are putting an excessive amount. So these findings, they're reported by climate experts whose data has been validated and supported by big government agencies like NASA. So NASA uses these Earth orbiting satellites, and they have provided a lot of visual proof that glaciers and ice sheets have been shrinking. Data from NASA's, the NASA climate website reports that data from NASA's Gravity Recovery and Climate Experiment show that Greenland has lost 150 to 250 cubic kilometers, which is roughly 36 to 60 cubic miles of ice between the year of 2002 and 2006. And then furthermore, Antarctica has lost about 152 cubic kilometers, which is about 36 cubic miles, give or take, of ice between 2002 and 2005. So these are serious reportings from NASA. But climate deniers, they tend to argue that there is uncertainty with the accuracy around climate science or any of the warnings or predictions associated with climate science. These naysayers tend to be politically and financially motivated to shy away from drafting policies or putting measures into place to reduce greenhouse emissions. Any corporation that alleges that control on carbon dioxide emissions are unnecessary is arguing that they don't believe in climate change. Or at least that it's not caused by humans. That's kind of, in human-caused climate change is referred to as anthropogenic climate change. They are just as concerned with these controls they're more concerned of what the controls on these emissions would do to the bottom line of their profits. Excuse my tongue chipping there. In 1988, the Intergovernment Panel on Climate Change was created to evaluate climate science by reviewing scientific literature. The goal was to peer review published information and allow the World Meteorological Organization and the United States Environmental Program to have a basis to impact policy creation and action. So basically, this is a real big attempt to collect and compare data, which is very important. So whether you believe in it or not, we need to know what is going on. And the whole world got together in 1988 and formed the IPCC, just to be short about it. In 2004, Naomi Oreskes performed a survey of 902 peer-reviewed climate change papers published between 1993 and 2003, and then found that while climate scientists agreed that some global warming will occur naturally, but all scientists agreed that the increase in global warming during recent years has been caused by anthropogenic climate change, man-made, driving cars, cutting down trees, oil, and all sorts of very bad, dirty things for the environment. A group of volunteers at Skeptical Science has published a survey in the journal Environmental Research Letters after they peer-reviewed 12,000 climate science papers. This effort was made to expand on the work that Oreskes has completed, because, like I say, we need to find the most consensus data on what these people are telling us. These are the experts, not oil company CEOs. So anyhow, their findings reported that while some papers did not take a formal stand that humans are the cause of increased global warming, it was the consensus and had reached 98% by 2011. So it may not be the most formal, but they do find that most scientists tend to lean towards that. Kind of like 4 out of 5 dentists, they use toothpaste, but or a certain brand. Well, 98% say that global warming is being caused by anthropogenic changes. Melissa Denchak wrote an article titled, "Are the Effects of Global Warming Really That Bad?" where she lists many undeniable effects of climate change. She shines a light on the fact that we have experienced more frequent severe weather, such as floods, heat waves, droughts, weather patterns. Well, they've been changing. Our oceans have become more acidic and have higher sea levels. While these changes, they can seem minor, they have a huge impact in the extinction rates of animals and death rates of low-income and at-risk people, especially in the third world. Air pollution and heat are a direct threat to those that are now living in areas that are notably hotter than ever. Other methods of visual evidence are proven by the use of satellites to collect surface temperature data. In prior years, estimated measurements of global warming were less than surface-based sensor data. However, a study published by Zeke Hausfather of the Carbon Brief website states that warming has increased by 140% after certain corrections were applied. Naysayers or climate deniers appear to be strongly opinionated that climate change and global warming are not occurring as previously reported. Any improvements in technology that lead to the reporting of higher rates of change seem to come under direct attack. There's always a minor little bug issue that they always try to point out. During what appeared to be an unexplained slowing in the surface temperatures between 1998 and 2012, many used this plateau to try to prove that climate change is not real. However, NOAA, which is the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, researchers improved that the way that they recorded ocean temperatures based on this new technology. The NOAA began to report that there was not only no hiatus in the temperatures rising, but that ocean temperatures had increased at nearly double than previously thought. This drove skeptics to lead an attack on the NOAA researchers. A House of Representatives committee issued a subpoena for NOAA's emails. While the researchers cooperated by being transparent with their data and answering questions, they did not surrender emails. So I guess in conclusion, I got to ask, why is there a witch hunt? Why the large divide between scientists and non-believers? Why would we want to continue down the same path, causing unnecessary destruction of resources and life? Don't future generations deserve a healthy planet? The negative impact of the current way of living is obvious, and even if the dark predictions are even slightly exaggerated, doesn't it make sense to put forth every effort to improve the planet?